Wicked Block Builder 1.4 has several new features, and I thought it might be nice to create a video to go over them. The first is an ability to export your blocks to a plugin. So now if you come to the Export Blocks section here, you'll see an option under Export Options to choose Plugin. So what this means is you can create a block using Wicked Block Builder, export it to a plugin, and then use that plugin on any site without having to have Wicked Block Builder installed. So for example, I'll select a block, choose Plugin, and click Export. And so what this will do is generate a zip file containing our plugin, and that plugin has our block. So if I come over to another WordPress site, this site doesn't have any plugins activated. What I can do is click Add New, click Upload Plugin, choose our plugin that was generated by Wicked Block Builder and click Install. And then activate the plugin. And you'll see the new plugin here, and it says adds the following custom blocks, sample featured items. So now we should be able to add that block in our site. So this is what this particular block looks like. You could export any block, but this is the one I just happened to export. Save the page and let's just see what it looks like. So here's our block on the front end, but the idea is that you can create a block using Wicked Block Builder and then export it to a plugin that can be used on any site, even if Wicked Block Builder isn't installed. Another new feature in 1.4 is the ability to copy and paste items. So for example, let's say you've created a color palette component and added some colors to it. And let's say you want to add it to the edit view of your block. Instead of having to create a new color palette component and re-add your colors, one thing you can do is click copy. We can come over to the edit view and click paste on the element or component that we want to paste the item into. You could also copy and paste entire structures of your block. So for example, maybe we want to copy this structure but have a slightly different view on the front end. We can paste it in, and that way we don't have to manually recreate the structure here. You can also copy and paste things between blocks. So for example, if I want to copy this color palette component to a completely different block, I can copy it and come over to a different block and paste it. Feature is the ability to see a live preview of a dynamic block. So let's say, for example, you want to create a block that displays some posts. So you create a block, make it dynamic, and then create your PHP file. In this case, I've created a block that will query some posts and then loop through them. What you can do is in your editor view, add the dynamic preview component. And what this will do is render your dynamic block in the editor. So if we refresh our test page here and add the block, here it is. And we'll select some posts. And so what this is doing is rendering the dynamic version of the block, but we've also made it interactive by adding a post select component to the sidebar so that we can select which posts. So for example, this would be great if you wanted to create like a featured posts block, or something that allows people to select specific posts and order them a certain way. Some other new features include the ability to duplicate items within a repeater. So for example, I've created this block that uses a repeater that allows us to add an arbitrary number of people, like this. So now, in addition to being able to drag and drop items to reorder as you could before, now there is this option to duplicate an item. So you can simply click that and it will duplicate all of the settings for that repeater item. Something else that is new is the ability to specify parent and ancestor blocks for your block. And so what this does is basically restrict your block to only being able to be inserted in either a direct parent. So you can search for a block, and if you choose, in this case, cards, what this means is that now your block can only be inserted as a direct child of the cards block. Alternatively, you could use the ancestor option, and now your block doesn't have to be a direct descendant of the cards block, but it can only be inserted somewhere within the cards block. So this is really useful when you're using InnerBlocks and wanting to restrict where your block can be added. And lastly, the InnerBlocks component now allows you to select or specify the wrapping tag. So if you want your InnerBlocks to be wrapped with a div, for example, you can just type in div, or maybe you want it to be an unordered list. Whatever you want it to be, you can just type in the tag here. And in addition, you can specify any classes, styles, or attributes you would like applied to that wrapper tag for the InnerBlocks. So that's it. Thanks for watching.